The old woman took out all the gold and silver jewelry she had on her, just to exchange for a warm meal. However, the man in front of her didn't even glance at it and even raised his gun, attempting to drive them away. In this post-apocalyptic world, gold and silver treasures had long become worthless junk. But the old woman didn't give up. She took out a seed pack. With these seeds, Mike could grow more crops. Seeing the hesitation on his face, the old woman thought she was about to succeed. Unexpectedly, the next moment, Mike handed the seeds back to her. Apparently, these things were not enough to move him. So, the old woman played her final card. She offered to let her daughter marry Mike. Mike hesitated for a moment and finally nodded, agreeing to let them stay. But he was very cautious. He carefully searched their entire bodies to ensure they had no weapons before letting them enter the house. Then, he personally made them a KFC meal. After the meal, the old woman kept her promise and left alone. The next morning, the old woman told Mike that she wanted to stay and help him manage the farmland. But Mike understood that doing so could put him in danger. He eventually decided to let them leave. Before leaving, Mary picked up a razor blade, wanting to shave Mike's beard. Mike vigilantly pointed his gun at her to prevent an ambush. Perhaps it was this vigilance that touched his heart. He finally chose to let the mother and daughter stay. From that day on, the three of them started living together in the fields. On the surface, they seemed like a family, but in reality, they each had their own agenda. The farmland resources were limited and could hardly support 3 people. The mother and daughter secretly planned how to get rid of Mike, while Mike always kept his gun at hand, carefully on guard. However, he didn't expect that Mary would steal the only 2 remaining bullets when he was off guard. Early the next day, Mary went to the riverside alone to do laundry, while the old woman snuck up behind Mike, ready to make her move. Just then, Mike suddenly noticed unfamiliar footprints on the ground. He immediately realized that an outsider had intruded, possibly a robber. He couldn't care about anything else and ran towards the river, worried that something might happen to Mary. But when he arrived, Mary was long gone, leaving only a shoe on the ground. Mike understood that she must have been abducted by the robbers, so he immediately grabbed his weapons and followed the footprints. He quickly arrived at an area overgrown with weeds. The terrain was complex, and the robbers were most likely hiding there. Mike immediately prepared to load bullets for the confrontation, but when he reached into his pocket, he realized that the bullets had long been stolen. He instantly understood that it was the mother and daughter who had done it, but even so, he still hadn't given up on the idea of saving Mary. The past few days of getting along had made him develop feelings. Left with no choice, he could only hide in the grass and quietly observe any movements. But what he never expected was that at this moment, the robbers were actually hiding right next to him.